I'll call the meeting to order, and let's begin with introductions. We'll start here to my right, and just who you are, where you're from.
I'm Iola Stallings, and out from Ettrick, by way of Georgia.
Don't go to me, my mouth is full.
Okay, we'll go this way then. I'm Scott Brown. I'm from the Whitehall area, originally from Rhinelander.
So I am Melissa Youngbauer, and I am the supervisor of the ADRC.
Remember to turn your microphone on and then off again. Mine, I think, stays on, so. Go ahead, Ashley.
I am Ashley Brecky. I am the former Nutrition and Transportation Coordinator, now Human Services ADRC Fiscal. So I'm filling in the interim. Originally from Mondovi.
Kevin Adams, County Board Supervisor, District 7, Arcadia area.
Rachel Herman from Pleasantville, volunteer.
Mary Beck from Waiha.
Beth Killian, Arcadia.
Mark Sharif, oh no, not Alan Robertson, Blair.
Colleen Schwarke, volunteer from Osseo.
Jeannie Nutter, County Board Supervisor, District 16.
Thank you all for being here this morning. We appreciate it. Oh, and we have another new board member here that hasn't been able to find a parking space for months and months and months. You can pull up to a microphone. Rita will have you turn it on and tell us who you are and where you're from. And
my name is Rita Halverson. I live 5 miles north of Whitehall, just south of Pleasantville.
we appreciate your diligence in trying to get here over the months and months and months. And
Yeah, last winter I spent half a year in the hospital, so.
Yep, that doesn't help either. Every time Robert and I drive past, he'll say, oh, Rita's home today, or Rita's not home today, so I know exactly where you live. Yeah. All righty. Well, the open meeting law has been met by the proper requirements of posting. We have an agenda in front of us. If you've reviewed it, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Move to adopt the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Minutes from the October 9th meeting. You've had a chance to look at them. Are there any additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, thank you, Beth.
And I'll second.
Jeannie seconds.
And if Beth approves them, we know there's no errors.
I don't always catch them.
Yeah, Beth does a good job of checking, spell checking and punctuation checking, I guess, and just all the way through, so we appreciate that. Hearing no additions or corrections, the motion's been made to and seconded to pass the minutes, adopt the minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Oops, in the wrong place. Next on the agenda is to review the new ADRC Council meeting date and time. And we had some challenges with calendar over the years. I don't know now that there's going to be a new room to meet in if that's going to change at all. But is this first Tuesday of the month at 10:30 an okay thing for people? See some heads going. I think every head.
Let's move along to P-TED committee because they meet before here.
Oh, okay.
Jeannie and I can just go for one meeting.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That's what I was gonna ask. So today it worked out okay, because you met before?
We were done at 9:30.
Okay.
That's one of the shorter committees anyway, so. Shouldn't be a
Sometimes it
problem.
can be longer, but
Not generally.
yeah, it should be fine.
Coming from the preceding committee, generally, they don't go that long, generally speaking. I'll say that.
Okay, well, I guess coffee in the hall if they go beyond 10:30, so we'll just, so I'd asked for a motion to approve the fact that we will be meeting on the first Tuesday of the month at 10:30 in the new county boardroom. Is that what it's gonna be called?
/ the core room, yes. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, Kevin and Jeannie have made and seconded the motion. Any further discussion? Beth?
But this would only be every other month.
Yes, that's true.
So maybe just.
And you
the
can
next
Zoom
meeting
from
would be
Sunny
would start in
Arizona.
February, and I guess
It'll
just
be
in
my
case-
birthday. The next time we meet, it'll be my birthday.
Oh, boy.
February 6th, I'll be
bringing a cake?
36.
And then on February 8th,
So what, that's February 7th, you said?
Sixth.
Sixth,
My next,
okay.
I'll be, yep.
Okay.
Agenda here.
and then on
Oh,
2
okay.
days later, I'll be 72, so
We can have a joint
we
celebration.
can have a big party. Anybody
For
else have a
both of us,
birthday in
yep.
February?
I'm 76 in December 15th.
Oh, is this coming
happy
up?
birthday.
You and I could split the cake and bring it in for both of us, see?
Okay.
There you go. Well, we won't go around and ask everybody's birthday, right?
We volunteered. We volunteered.
Everybody out there on TV, please send cards of
These
happy
two, us
birthday
two.
wishes to these two. And Mary, if you wish, for the month of December. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. And with Beth's message of every other month, you see at the bottom of the agenda, the next meeting is actually the February 6th, 2024. So don't come in January.
At 10:30. At 10:30.
At 10:30, right. Okay. When Melissa sent me the agenda, the thought hit my brain, maybe we should talk a little bit about our role here. We have some new members. We have some of us that have been around a while that forget things, and thought that it might be a good idea just to, and you each have one of these in front of you. Rita didn't get one yet. Do we have an extra?
Oh, okay.
Got a-
They're on the table behind
Yeah,
you.
I'll go grab it.
So our role with the Aging and Disability Resource Center is we are an advisory committee. We don't set any policy here. So if you're expecting that we're going to be changing the way the county works, we can talk about it. We can send our thoughts and prayers on to the committee, the Human Services Committee, and let them know what we're thinking and what ideas we have, and we're just trying to promote the well-being of people who have some sort of either a physical or a cognitive disability or are aging, and that's our impetus. And I was working in the courthouse when the ADRC began, so I know what kind of a process the whole thing was, and there's quite a bit of promotion that goes on for the Aging and Disability Resource Center. You'll hear Melissa on WHTL every once in a while talking about the wonderful volunteers and how we really couldn't do much without the volunteers. And the newsletters put out, there's a lot of money invested in publicity, and it's necessary. People need to know. There are folks out there that are aging that probably have no idea what ADRC is all about. And so just trying to get the information out to people is very, very important, and it's kind of a cornerstone, I think, of the organization to get to people and to talk to them about the programs and the processes that are available. Anything from benefits to rides to appointments, rides to community activities, community events that are happening, the meals. There are tons of things that you can read about in the newsletter every 2 months, and it's really quite a wonderful thing. And I think I'm just going to read the mission here. The ADRC mission is to provide older adults and people with physical or developmental intellectual disabilities the resources needed to live with dignity and security and achieve maximum independence and quality of life. The goal of the ADRC is to empower individuals to make informed choices and to streamline access to the appropriate services and supports. It's more for the benefit of those who are listening on TV. Pardon me? Oh, Jeannie has a comment or a question?
Just a comment, and I think that we should be especially proud of our ADRC, which was one of the pilot counties back in,
Late 90s?
Is 25 years. We're
20
celebrating our 25th
okay, so 25
anniversary.
years ago, I think there were 6 counties that were pilot counties and.
4 initially.
4, but Trempealeau was one, and I'm happy to say I believe that we might be one of the best.
Because we were one of the original, that's pretty.
Yep, it's a good history to have, and lots of good things came out of those 4 counties, La Crosse, Trempealeau, I think Milwaukee.
I don't know.
I should know, I can't remember, it was Rock. I mean, that there was 4 counties, and Becky Severson was the director at the time, and she was traveling all over, having meetings probably monthly with all of the. Stacy Garlick was a big part of that as well, and traveling all over to meet with the other 3 counties, and then eventually the 5 others, to get the thing going. And I don't know if every county has one. I think okay.
Yes, they do. Mhm.
So it's just pretty amazing how it's developed and prospered, and it's a wonderful thing to have happen. And the next page 4, is the ADRC history. So and actually, there's 54 states and territories that get federal money to develop ADRCs. So that's
We're
a.
the birthplace of Wisconsin.
It's pretty amazing. Usually Minnesota is the birthplace of a lot of these types of things, so it's nice. Yep, and I don't know if folks know, but the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, was actually started in Wisconsin as well. There's over 40 years ago. NAMI was started in Wisconsin. Now it's a national program. It's just incredible what can happen for people that have mental illness. We all have mental health, but there are people that go beyond just the mental health, and there's a mental illness, capacity to that. So, that's not something that our ADRC takes care of. You go see Deanne Anderson, I think, for that. And I worked with Deanne for 17 years here in the county, and she was the services coordinator for people with mental health, and I was services coordinator for people with developmental disabilities. So that history goes back. So on page 5, then, it talks about reaching out the community, and that we're ambassadors for the ADRC, and that's an important thing. And that's something Melissa had just mentioned before we started the meeting, that all of us can go out and, if you hear somebody, a lot of different churches represented, a lot of different community organizations that you people are involved in, a lot of different communities. And as you're talking to people or listening to conversations, and somebody said, boy, I wish I could have some help with my benefits or something like that, you know where to direct them. ADRC is the gatekeeper of services. Anybody that I used to be a services coordinator for had to start with the ADRC and have a functional screen done, and then after they were done with their process, then they were referred to us. So, ADRC is a gatekeeper for all of those services. So very, very important to the county and what happens there. Are there any comments, people that you've, in the community, have you had experiences where people have wondered about services that you could direct them, especially people that have been around a while?
For me, in my community, whether it's
Put your microphone on.
whether it's here in Trempealeau County, I've had people do it, or if it's in surrounding communities, I would point them in that county's ADRC, whether it's just one of the neighboring ones.
I think one of the most helpful aspects of the ADRC, which I send people to that are turning 65 and need to make decisions about Medicare. We have a benefit specialist here who's amazing. She helped me figure out what I needed to do, because you think you know how stuff works, but there's all kinds of nuances, like what's an advantage plan, what isn't, but you only have 2 more days to make a decision, so. But that's something that I refer a lot of people to. And then, of course, the meals.
Yeah, us older folks have gotten tons of information in the mail lately, so. Mary?
A lot of people ask me how we can get some help. And I says, call the ADRC. Well, I don't have their number. I said, well, I have it, so I'll give it to you. Can you call? I said, no, you have to call, because it's your place to do it, not mine. And I says, I'll give you the number and you can call them. So I gave a couple of them the numbers, so they want to know they need help and they don't have it. And I'm fortunate, I got a lot of help. So, but a lot of people don't. And I thought, oh, we gotta have somebody to help them because they need help.
Thank you for doing that, Mary, and thank you also for encouraging them to make the phone call, because,
Well, it's
Melissa.
not my position to do it.
Right. Melissa and her staff can't talk to you about other people.
No.
There's a confidentiality
Yeah.
issue there, so.
But I
Yep.
told them, I said, you have to call because I can't call.
Yep, you bet. Okay. I don't recognize anybody in the picture on page 6, so. No, they must have a whole new staff over there. It's just a canned picture apparently, but, yep. Well, it says that we represent the interest of the customers served by ADRC, so that's what you call it, people, is customer, okay?
Customer or consumer?
Consumer. I think that was a word that was bounced around years ago, a consumer of products and services that are available in the county. So we are out there representing that. Quality improvement, yeah, that's something that's been going on since day one. The ADRC has developed, we were one of the originators, as we talked about before, and all the things that Becky and Stacy tripped over at the time have been smoothed out, and they are able to, Melissa's, had all that experience happen, so she didn't have to worry about it. So, that's a wonderful thing to have happen. And it says the staff are trained our quality improvement methods and complete at least one quality improvement project a year. So that's quite a thing to accomplish as well. Don't just sit on your hands and expect things are going to happen. You got to keep moving forward. Any questions or comments there? You're not chiming in, so I must be doing okay.
You are doing great.
Okay. Page 8, analyzing and raising awareness about unmet needs. And, if people are curious as to whether the ADRC can help with something, give them a call. They'd be happy to say, well, yes, we do that, or no, we don't. We're sorry, but we can't do that service. But maybe they would know who could do it in the county. So, it's just one of those things that not every agency can do everything. The funding mechanisms are different. GWAR sends out money to ADRCs in order to be able to provide the services the ADRC does. And, if there is something new that the ADRC could happen, I'm sure Melissa pounces on that, as soon as she hears it, to try to get that extra money in and those extra programs. But it also depends on the amount of staff, the amount of volunteers. The group of drivers, the volunteer drivers, is dwindling or has dwindled. I'm not sure where you stand right now with that, but
Always in need. Yes, always in need. So that would be a huge way. Again, when we talk about you all being ambassadors for the ADRC, we are really in pretty urgent need of drivers right now. We just learned that one of our 4-time-a-week drivers in Whitehall, just his last day is Friday. So, yeah, so many, you had just mentioned, you had seen our Facebook post
Yes, I
about
did.
that, and the radio has been talking about that in the last day too, so, yeah, so.
We know somebody that likes to drive and would like to, yes, Rita?
Where do they drive from or to?
Sure. So we have several different routes throughout the county, but the route right now that we are in urgent need of is the one in Whitehall. It's a City of Whitehall route. So the route right now, they pick up the meals at the ADRC, and the route takes about 30 minutes. The majority of the meals are at the Brookside and Parkside apartments on Clare Street. So it's a pretty easy route, and we designed it that way so that just somebody could do this short route that takes, like I said, it's only about 30 minutes. So that's what we are in need of right now. So if any of you know anybody, please help spread that word.
And you having wheels, if you know of somebody that could run the meals from your van up to the apartments or something, maybe you could do a joint, a
That
partnership
works out
type of
really,
thing.
really well. Yep,
Or if
we
you like to
have-
get in and out of your van in the winter. Not? I don't know, you're pretty resilient, so it's up to you, but give it some thought, or if you know of other people. Occasionally I'll run into people that talk about it. I don't know if I haven't followed up, unfortunately, to find out if they have been able to drive, but people that get the Meals on Wheels are very, very happy to receive those, and most of the time I think it's enough for 2 meals a day, sometimes 3, I think, probably. A lot of folks that stay home aren't super active, so they don't eat a lot. So they can, put the meal in their refrigerator and have it later. So, and it's also a social time. The driver, can chat a little bit. I mean, they can't spend hours with them.
Right.
Obviously, it's a half-hour
Route.
But if it takes all day, then people are sitting waiting for their meals and wondering what's going on. But at least you're checking on them. 4 times a week if, somebody that's living alone and they normally don't have the opportunity to have somebody check in on them, there you go. It's almost like a welfare check. Make sure they're vertical and able to sit up and take nourishment, I guess, are the 2 things. I don't know if there are episodes where people have found someone like on the floor.
I have myself, yeah.
Okay.
It does happen, and we do train the volunteers so that they know that they're not responsible for, picking up individual that may have fallen, that you do call 911, and yep, I've had to do that myself. So, and that's really, we always say about the meals, it's not only a meal, but it's a safety check, yes. Yeah, and Colleen, she's one of our volunteers. She delivers meals several times a week. I don't know if that's ever happened to you.
It has, and fortunately, I have the numbers of family members, so I had contacted them. I sat with her until they got there to assist me, and we got her up in a chair, and she was fine, but it is kind of a scary situation.
Yeah.
Or if you're ringing their doorbell or knocking and they're not answering, and I've been known to run around the house and do the window peeking thing to see if you can see them lying on the floor, and pretty soon they come to the door. They've maybe been still in bed or in the bathroom, but yeah, your heart starts thumping a little bit, so.
Yeah.
So it's,
We've had to call either family or the fire department.
yeah, and I've called the local policeman. I had seen him prior, and I knew him. And with this one particular lady, he came, but by the time he came, she had already come to the door, so, yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
is the ultimate situation. I'm just going to share this. When I found my mother lying in bed, no longer alive, I moved a couple of things, and I found out later I shouldn't have touched anything. You call the sheriff's department or the police department, and they come and do an investigation. And I told them right away that I touched things. I had no idea. You're not supposed to touch things. I mean, basically, just took the oxygen hose off of her face and moved. She was still holding onto her walker while lying on the bed, and I took that out of her hand, just thinking, well, somebody's going to have to come in here, and I'm just thinking ahead. Just moving things around so nobody gets tripped up. But if you ever do find someone that is non-responsive, don't move things around. Just call the authorities.
They have to move because even though it's accidental, they don't know that when they come there.
Right. Yep. Yeah, and the same thing happened, I think, with my father when he found his father, and we seem to have a thin skin type of condition where you get a lot of bruising. And so drawing a blank on the coroner's name. Bonnie Kinchy, yeah. When Bonnie came, I said, Bonnie, I want to tell you up front, because this happened to my father. Somebody said, Spencer is really full of bruises. Do you think Richard was abusing his father? And fortunately, the person knew him and knew Dad, and he said, no, Richard would not abuse his father, but he was literally picking him up, putting him in the tub, pulling him out of the tub, and every time he would do that, there'd be bruising. And so I told Bonnie, I said, Mom had a thin skin. She was on a blood thinner. I wasn't abusing her, honestly. And Bonnie said, she's known me for years, but there just are things that we don't think about, and the volunteers may not think about, so it's a good thing that you train them on what to do. Page 9, working with ADRC management and staff. They're there for us. If we have questions about our roles and responsibilities, if, after today you think of something, give Melissa a call, give Ashley a call, give somebody a call, and they'll answer those questions for you. We're in it together. And then finally, the next steps talks about the state of Wisconsin contracting with every ADRC, and Melissa and staff are responsible for what goes on through the ADRC, and they have to follow all the rules and regulations, and county rules, regulations, state rules and regulations. So it's a very important position, very important agency, and all of you have a part in it, and it's sort of at the beginning where we are there for advice and talking about things, brainstorming at time on things, and that's kind of who we are. So any further comments, Melissa, or questions?
Yeah, I just want to mention, so a couple weeks before we send out the agenda, I am putting together the agenda for these meetings, and I asked Scott about what things he thinks would be important to add to the agenda. So I just want to let you all know, if there's things that you want added, things that you think are important that you would like to have added, give me a call. We can definitely do that. Same thing, I'm always available to talk to people. So if you're out in the community and you have questions, or you're seeing needs or unmet needs, you don't have to wait till this meeting. I want to know about these things. So please reach out to me as things come up. One other thing I did just want to mention is just the role of advocacy as a board member. That's really important. And so again, talking about needs and unmet needs, we just talked about the fact that we were one of the very first ADRCs in this state. We were a pilot. We stepped up and we said, we want to pilot this. We want to be part of making something happen. I'm not sure how many of you know this, but they call that a division, or a first generation ADRC. And so the funding we received at the very beginning was actually higher than what some of the other ADRCs, that came on board, so to speak.
We're the
Because we were one of the very, very first. Unfortunately, we just learned just in the last week or so that the state has been working really hard on trying to make funding more equitable. And so we are one of the counties that have just learned that we are going to be having our budget cut. So we're not exactly sure. There are 2 years that we will be held harmless. So that is good news. So we have,
Until 2026?
yes. So we have 2 years to plan. Just before I came, I was exchanging emails with basically our consultant with the state, wanting to set up a meeting with her in the near future with Jay Hine, our director, to really just talk about what that may look like. But so we do have some counties in the state, you know, and it makes sense, right, that different counties, that it should be equitable.
They should raise the other counties
Yes.
to what we're getting,
Yeah.
not decrease.
Yep.
Because, I mean, we just talked in our economic development meeting that talking about needs and deficits in the county is housing for seniors.
Yes.
Is a very
Absolutely.
desperate situation at this
Yep.
point in time.
Yep. So when you are out there and you may hear out in the media, well, what they did increase the budget for ADRCs. So there are some counties that will be getting more money. So of course they're going to be happy. They are happy. They're already probably advertising for positions, because I think their funding may. I don't think there is a delay in that. But for us, we are trying to provide the same great services that we've always provided. Our needs continue to increase. You know, we're serving more people than ever before, and we're seeing more and more complex situations and cases, and now we're learning that we will have less money to do so. So that's why it's important that you all know this, and stay tuned. We'll have more information and meetings to follow.
Too bad we couldn't reach out to our state congressmen and legislators.
We can.
Yeah.
There's
Yep.
no reason we can't.
We know it's past due, we should reach out to, that's not too fair.
Right, and again, 2 years, I mean, some things could happen in that time, so,
Wishful thinking, I hope not, but you know.
yeah,
Call them all up, so.
Could happen for the good.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, help for the good. So I think that's just important for you all to know that, even, you know, when we are, you know, talking to local representatives, and again, like what you're mentioning, people more at the state level. So yeah, that's not great news, is it?
No, but we've been anticipating
Yes.
that every year for the last few years. So. At least they are holding us harmless for a
For
while.
2 years, right?
Giving us a little time, but still.
We'll
Yep.
make it work.
You're gonna have some new digs by that time too, right? You're
Yes.
moving- What's the timeline on that?
We don't know.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Yeah.
know for sure. It'll be cool.
Yeah, Kevin and Jeannie may know more than me.
I don't
Being
know.
counted more,
Yeah.
not a ton more, probably not a whole lot more than you guys, so we're just about as much in the dark as you are. That's more of the construction type. I
I mean,
think,
there's
the
an
only-
open house on Saturday
Saturday?
for the new building.
so I think the only one that might know a little bit more than us, and even that's question will probably be the county board chair, but even he's limited.
You'll be here, but part of the restructuring of this old building to suit the needs for the
Right.
people who are not moving to the Justice Center.
I would think it would be no sooner than halfway through 2024.
Right.
Yeah.
People will move and you
People will
in.
move, and then,
Might take a little time, but yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
In the 17 years I was here, we moved 4 times, Unified Board.
So one is nothing, right, that you're saying?
One isn't a lot, I guess. but,
Compared to 4,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not looking for sympathy, I'm just explaining
move a
that,
lot.
you know, we had to move a two-way spot, and then they refurbish a spot, and then we moved there, and then we decided that we were up on the second floor where child support is, and our director wanted a slide-by file system, and the person who was in charge of maintenance at the time said, oh, it'd be too heavy for the second floor, and she said, well, put us in the basement again then, so,
The director at the time went back all because of the filing cabinets.
yep, so we were,
You
know, where
lost your
the
windows
where
to
the
the basement.
Trempealeau room is, that's where we were for quite a few years.
So you lost your
I
windows
remember
all
that.
because of filing.
Yep, yeah, I had a window office upstairs there. but it was okay. We lived. Any other questions about the council? Okay, let's move on then to review the nutrition program.
Okay, our current nutrition contracts expire at the end of this month. So we've talked about in recent meetings about, we had put out the request for proposals. Human Services Board did approve certain contracts or certain food providers at the last meeting. So that was back in November. So I just wanted, again, to make everybody, keep everybody up to date with our nutrition program and what contracts that we will be entering in starting for 2024. These are 2-year contracts, so we're talking about 2024 and 2025. So let's just start out with the home delivered meals. Eau Claire County is going to continue to provide meals to that northern part of the county. We are also adding the rural Whitehall and Pigeon to that Eau Claire County to the northern. Yep. So Eau Claire County is going to be providing Oliva, Strum, Osseo, rural Whitehall, and Pigeon. So those are all going to be coming out of Eau Claire now, and that seems to be working out really, really well for us. Wanting to let you know that, so Gunderson Tri-County had entered a bid and they were selected. So Gunderson Tri-County is going to be providing the city of Whitehall meals. So again, this is starting January 1st. I'm pretty excited about that. Tri-County is already delivering meals 1 day a week. And I'm not sure how, I just think it's going to be very convenient for those drivers to just go to Tri-County and pick up the meals. Right now, they pick them up at the ADRC. I don't know how that would all work with this new, entrance here at the courthouse. So I think that's going to be really nice. Grandview Care Center is going to be providing the meals for the city of Blair. So that will continue. Ashley Pub will continue for Arcadia, and Boondocks is now going to be providing meals for Galesville and Trempealeau. So we're really excited about that change as well, because right now the driver from Galesville and Trempealeau is driving all the way up to Blair to pick up those meals. So that's going to be just bringing it more to that really community level there is, I think, going to be really great for consumers, because the food's going to come to them and it's going to be less waiting, less sitting time, less driving time. So does anybody have any questions about HDMs?
So my question, I guess, is for this is with the reorganization of who's going to be having the meals. Are you going to have drivers go to each facility that's going to be responsible for that area?
Yes.
And that means that if I wanted to I could do Boondocks because I'm living in that. Oh, okay.
Right. And see, I do think, yes, because it's just really been almost impossible to ask volunteers from Galesville to drive all the way to Blair and then expect them to go all the way back to those communities. So I do feel it does open, that's a really good point, because I think it just opens up opportunities to try to recruit more volunteers in those southern communities.
You don't have to drive as far.
Right on, yes. And even we possibly could break some of a route into the city of Trempealeau route, because we could do the routes that are in Blair and Whitehall. There'd be about 10 individuals right in the city of Trempealeau. It would make it, I think, much more attractive and convenient for volunteers. And then, again, save us money, less driving time. And
Better all the way around.
yeah, more likely volunteers than paid drivers to do some of those shorter routes.
Win-win.
Win-win, I think. Yeah. Okay. If there's no other comments, let's talk about senior dining. So not a lot of changes at all in senior dining. I do want to mention, I've said this to a few people already, but I know not all of you have heard this, but we had attended a state meeting, a nutrition meeting, back in October in Eau Claire, and we learned that Trempealeau County has 3 of the top 50 most attended meal sites in the whole state. So that's pretty great. Yeah, out of the whole state, we have 3 out of the top 50.
So we're not only the one of the top for ADRC, we've got this reward.
Yeah, a lot of counties are having problems getting people back to their sites after COVID, and our sites are really going strong. I don't know if any of you that are here, Rachel, you volunteer at a site. Yeah. So that, I wanted to mention that. Yes, Beth?
I think that would be a good point to call the Trempealeau County Times and have it put right on the front page, because that would be great PR for the ADRC, and also maybe a push to get even more people involved in senior dining.
In the dining?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I will be happy to do that.
Why am I blanking on her first name? Foss. Debbie Foss.
Okay, Debbie Foss is,
Brain fog.
okay. So that is exciting. So wanted to let you know there is one site, so Boondocks, we are reducing to 2 days a week. So they are currently at 5 days a week, reduced to 2 days a week. I just got their invoice for November, just yesterday actually, and we reviewed their numbers, and there were some days that at Boondocks there were as few as 5 people. So I do feel like just reducing it to 2 days is just gonna allow them to, I think, just focus more on senior dining the days that they're offering it. So they are going to be doing meals on Wednesdays and Thursdays. We are working on our newsletter, and so I do have this came out. This is what you're going to see for January and February, and it does on page 10. It does show what the changes are for the senior meal sites. One other thing that is really exciting that we were able to secure funding to add 1 day a week in Whitehall. So we are going to be opening a senior meal site in Whitehall in 2024. So, okay, I was hoping that there'd be some feedback. So we are going to be having Sweet Temptations. We've secured them as the caterer. And so we are going to be exploring some different options about what that senior dining opportunity could look like. Well, so yes, it is the golf club, the same owners of that. One of the things that we have Sammy, who you know is the nutrition director, and I, when we attended this meeting back in October, we learned about some different counties that are having a dining sites where you would actually go to the site and they have a pre-approved menu where you could order off of the menu. So you could go to Sweet Temptation, say, and if dining was on Monday, and these are just hypothetical, I want to get some feedback. So let's say if it was like from 12:30 to 2 or 2:30, and you could order off of the menu. It's going really well in some places. Do people have any feedback about whether or not you think that would be attractive to people?
I had a sit-down with Rita one day. I was there for lunch, and she came over and sat down with me. She was kind of going around the room talking to different people about this potential. And she was excited. I mean, smiling the whole time, just, talking about the potential of of offering this for people, and the fact that they could open kind of the back of the restaurant, the big table, so people could gather. I mean, part of the senior meal is social. So, you know, and then to go and be able to order off the menu is even, I think, a plus. I go over to the Tawanik Center almost every Wednesday, and we get what we get. You know, I mean, they do publish the menu ahead of time. I don't even look at it because I'm going to eat what they have anyway. And it's always good, but yeah, Sweet Temptations has a lot of good offerings, and you know, no burgers or things like that, but maybe she'd offer it once in a while, I don't know, but
I don't think there's ever been a burger on the menu.
not there.
Not that way.
I think it's a great idea. It sounds like fun.
Would the price be the same?
It would be exactly the same.
Still be $4?
It's $5 now.
Or 5,
yeah.
but it's still, that's a good meal for $5, yeah.
I guess I find it really just, I'm so excited to, you know, Whitehall, our county seat, and we have no meal site here. This is where our office is. This
that's
is
why
where the
we have
courthouse
one,
is.
yep.
I just think I think it's just a great
It's
opportunity. I'm really excited about it. And it intrigues me, this idea, and it's going so well in some of the other counties that are doing it. People really like the idea.
You tried it out?
The Sweet Temptations, that site, if we were to have it there, like what you said, it's like there is space in the back. It is quiet. It's
Quieter, yep.
right, and we would have the opportunity, because I think they close at 2:00. Yep, and so you know, she has said that we would be able to have you know, speakers come in or do music or do bingo, those kinds of things. That space would be open to do that after the meals.
Awesome.
So
She seems to be very cooperative with the owners there.
yeah.
The sites already offered that. Because one of the ladies went to Blair and they said that they offered that, and it was nice.
Yes, yeah. So I think, Mary, what you're talking about is, you know, somebody that's gone to Blair and they've had those kinds of activities and they've enjoyed them.
And everybody enjoyed it, and the food was good too. She said.
I visited the Strum meal site a while back, so I know it's really nice.
Well, what do you need from us to say?
I just, it's,
Temptations, I'll say it.
yeah, you like
good.
it? You like the
I
idea?
do, yeah, because, you know, I like the idea that it's not very, you can have a conversation and you can actually hear who you're talking to, and they aren't streaming loud music. That's a total distraction. I don't know why they play loud music in a restaurant, but anyway, I think would be fun.
Okay.
Early October, they had that really tall scarecrow in there that was talking the whole time. And I think the young staff finally got Rita to turn that off.
Right.
Because I was laughing about it and was trying to talk to somebody, and every time we'd try to talk, it was talking over us. And one of the, yeah, well, I think it was Mary and myself, yeah, we're sitting at a table right by the thing. And,
I started laughing.
yep.
So, yeah, thank you for the feedback. One of the needs would be then to secure volunteers at that site. So stay tuned for that. But, you know, the volunteers at the site are so important because they would probably, you know, we have to work out what the logistics would be, but they could potentially help with, you know, somebody comes in, they're going to have to order. So it might be the volunteer that would be really taking the order and giving it to the Sweet Temptation staff, but then helping with registration. And registration would look just like it does at Strum or Arcadia. And then, of course, helping, you know, collect those donations and making those deposits like they do at the other sites. So
Sounds good.
yeah,
Sweet Temptations actually caters Blair and Strum.
yes.
So they're already they know what senior meal is all about, but this would be a little different in that it's off the menu.
Yep.
Love it. And that food is good.
Yeah, it is. So would they have to re-register for that?
Well,
When Rita and I we had just kind of a exploratory, you know, asking her, what do you think of this idea? And like you said, she just lit up. What she mentioned is she doesn't think that she would require pre-registration.
Oh, that'd be better.
Yeah, that would be better, yeah. Because it'd be just like going to the restaurant.
They don't do reservations.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So you'd have to work out
Some
the
do.
details with Sweet Temptations owners.
Yes,
But
yeah.
they seem to be very open to it.
Yes.
That's good.
But yeah, she did not think that they would do that.
Okay.
And I suppose, they get into a rhythm and then they'd probably figure out what are the most popular items and, is it, the average is 25? Because really at Strum and Blair, it's that's really what it is. It's an average of about 25, give or take, yeah. So they kind of know what to expect at this point.
And it would be a different day of the week than those, right?
Yeah, what we talked about was probably Monday.
Okay.
That would be my preference because there's no other dining in this county
Right.
that is, and she kind of liked that idea as well. So,
So you found a potential vendor, that's cool.
yeah, it sounds like all of you kind of think it would be kind of a neat thing, huh?
It's very good that we explored the item, the vendors seem to be open for more so when will it be confirmed by, if or when they can officially, January or?
No, probably a little bit later in the year.
So
I
it
want to
won't be
say
right
probably spring or summer.
Before it's officially
Yeah.
site?
Yeah. Yep. So stay tuned.
Any other questions about meals? Anybody hungry?
No, getting hungry is bad. I am too, to go to Quick Trip later.
Bridges Health.
Okay. Not a lot to talk about here, but I did just want to really highlight this program, the Bridges Health Wellness Clinic. So it's a partnership. It's really Winona State University is sending their students, nursing students and social work students, and their faculty to Blair and offering these free services at Friendship First in Blair. Is anybody out there, are you wanting to share that anybody has used the service? Okay.
I was there a couple weeks ago, and I didn't know what all. I knew that I had some cerumen in my ear that needed, taking a look at, and that's one of the things that they talk about. And I thought, well, I'll have them look at my toenails at the time. I mean, they will trim toenails for people that can't get down there anymore. They did the wax review. They did my blood pressure. I can't even remember all the things but they have like a menu of items, and you sit down and you do this whole kind of a health review. They go through almost all your systems to start with, and then figure out what they can help you with. And then they either the person you're talking to or another person, depending on how busy they are. But I think they have 6, 8,
Yeah.
9 nursing students that are there with their director, and they're willing to do what it is that you need. And I had a follow-up because they felt that they didn't want to start digging in my ear, so I had to put drops of oil in there. But professionally done. I mean, you are in a room that just has curtain dividers, so you can hear some of the other people potentially, but they try to make it as private as possible. And if you really want a privacy, I suppose they could take you to a different room or something. But you don't have to get into a hospital gown or anything like that. But it was well done. I wanted to see what the program was like, and also thought it'd be good for me to have a couple things done while I'm there. But they're willing to help anybody. So all I have to do is call ahead and make a reservation. They can do two, 3 people at a time each hour.
I've observed those medical sites over in Winona, where my main job is. I've seen a couple of their sites too. I'm sure it's pretty similar.
really
it's
similar.
Awesome. It's awesome what they do. I haven't seen it here, but the sites I've seen, whether it's here in Wisconsin, Minnesota, is just amazing what they do.
Yeah, so just letting people know this fall semester, because they gave us, you can see there's maybe 6 or 7 dates that they'll be back in the spring. There was a similar number this fall, and they saw 125 individuals. So, and in the way, there actually is 4 appointment spots at each hour. So they see, is it 12 people a day then, or No, more than
More than that.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're there for quite a while.
Yeah, 20 people, probably 20 people a day. Yeah, plus walk-ins. So people call the ADRC to schedule. We help with the scheduling, and we provide transportation as well to the clinic. We try to have ADRC staff that are present as well during the clinics, and that's a really great partnership as well because, and it's typically our community health worker, Penny Paulson, will be there, but she's able to then, you know, connect people with other programs and services. So it's been a really great program. The most popular service, I would say, is the foot and nail care. That's what they tell us. That I think is second. I think that is second. And we get so many calls at the ADRC asking about foot and nail care. It's just people don't know how to get that done. So this is just a really great thing. Please spread the word if you know people that are interested. I'd encourage all of you, like what Scott said, like show up. Yeah, show up and see what it's all about.
I briefly peeked in one site, but I didn't go in there. But if I do see a site somewhere around, I'll go in there and kind of observe and say I'm ADRC of Trempealeau County.
Yeah.
Your counterpart in Wisconsin,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'd say over there.
Ashley has been helping. We had somebody in the last week call and want to schedule for the clinics that are coming up this spring. And Ashley said, well, this person asked to be put on the schedule at every clinic.
Wow.
So they really enjoyed the service. So I need to reach out to Bridges and ask them really how they want me to proceed with that. That's a little bit like, because we do have people that get put on the waiting list, so we don't, it's probably, I need to determine how I'm going to address that. But you know, we had somebody that was seen this last semester. They then said afterwards, they said, this is the best thing I've done for myself in a really, really long time. So a lot of it is just as much just the social aspect. So just really a cool service. So.
And these young nursing students are looking for the experience, you know, so to have all these opportunities with nobody going, it would be pointless.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right,
they need
right.
hands-on experience. It's, you know, from the moment of asking you all the questions to actually doing the procedures. And when they were, you know, looking in my ears, they had the nursing supervisor come and observe and make sure they were doing the right thing. And she said, you know, I'll get down a little lower, or tip the machine, or the whatever it's called, the scope a little bit higher or lower so you can see the eardrum. And yeah, it's a good experience and well worth it. Mary?
I have to tell you something. I'm not gonna poke my fingers anymore. I got a machine that I can put it on and my blood sugars, and I like it. I don't have to poke my fingers anymore and have my fingers so sore.
That's good.
So a lot of important things happening in medicine.
Technology
Yes,
is really.
yes.
I just would like to mention about Bridges Health. This is strictly just the Trempealeau County location. They have locations in Winona.
Yep.
They have locations in Buffalo County and various areas.
Surrounding
And they're
counties.
open to anybody. So if you can't make the Trempealeau County one, but say the one in Buffalo County works for you on that day, you're more than welcome to
What
go
about
there.
Winona? If you're,
Same with Winona.
because they have neighboring counties and
Right.
states, so you can go down. Because I'm closer probably to Winona than
Yeah,
probably.
it's open to anybody at any location. You don't have to be a Trempealeau County resident, you know. So if something was to work for you, Winona or Buffalo County, you're still able to use the services. And they have a website that you can check out the different sites and their dates and times and things like that.
So
And
like
it's all free. They don't ask for any insurance information.
'cause I
Right.
looked just briefly looked in the Winona one. I'm sure it's the same here. Was just I couldn't believe how it was like wow.
Yeah.
Could this be put in the ADRC newsletter?
It has been.
It has been?
Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
I guess I haven't seen it in the
Yeah,
past,
yep, that's okay, but yes, and we do put up flyers. We tend to put those up more in this area, that'd be closer to Blair, but if you think people in Osseo or Strum might be interested in, yeah.
Because there's some
Yeah.
sites, there's a couple senior housing or low-income housing there, you could put them in there too.
And it will be it's actually on the front page of the upcoming newsletter, so, yeah.
And
so
those
people
go
will
to
see
all
it.
the senior housing and stuff too, so they'll see it, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it actually, I think, is on the website too.
Facebook page?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's where I've seen it.
Yep, yep.
I knew about it and was over at senior meal at the Wanik Center, and Sammy came over there and she was saying, oh, there's 4 open spaces on such and such, and we were looking for people, and I said, Sammy, I'm interested, if you don't fill it here, let me know, and I'll I want to go. So that was how I got my foot in the door. My toenails in the door. Okay, any other questions about that? Rachel, thanks for coming, and enjoy your meal. Transportation updates.
I am going to turn it over to Ashley, who really has been, at this point, she's doing a lot of the scheduling with transportation, so I think it just makes sense. She's been helping Sammy, so sense for Ashley to kind of review what's going on with transportation.
Okay, so in January of 2024, let me back up. We actually started implementing it right away. For any new calls, if we have stuff on the schedule, we're gonna honor that through the end of the month. But we've kind of revamped the local transportation to try to be available to more communities and more people being served. So our little local vans that drive around, that's $3 a round trip for a person to go shopping, senior dining, errands, whatever it may be. We have decided, instead of, sending just Dean, for instance, be in Arcadia at 10 a.m. and then pretty soon he's up in Osseo and then way back down in Galesville, Trempealeau area, puts a lot of miles on the van, puts a lot of, sitting in that vehicle for him. Just things like that. So we have decided to focus on certain days for certain communities. So for instance, Tuesdays, we're gonna look at Whitehall, Pigeon Falls, Blair, and the surrounding areas. So anybody needing to, go grocery shopping, do errands, whatever it is, we're gonna ask that they schedule with us, and they'll only be able to do it on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, we're gonna look at Arcadia, Independence, Galesville, Trempealeau, and those surrounding areas. And then Thursdays, we're gonna be in the northern part, Oliva, Strum, Osseo, and the surrounding areas. This just eliminates and gives more people opportunities to utilize the service and, like I said, reduce transportation times. Bus trip. We are increasing the amount of bus trips we do each month. So we will now be doing the first and third Wednesdays of each month. We will be going to La Crosse, and this is going to be available for individuals south of Independence or Whitehall, and that would be for direct pickup at your home. If you live in Strum but want to ride that bus to La Crosse for the day, we would ask that you meet us somewhere in Whitehall or Independence, just so that we're not, making us, going all the way north, trying to cut the transportation travel time down. So we would have a designated area, so everybody can still go if they want. We would ask you to meet us halfway or at a spot. And then Eau Claire, we're gonna do Tuesdays and Thursdays, the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month. So basically every Wednesday, Dean will be taking a trip, whether it's Eau Claire or La Crosse, just due to the demand.
The bigger cities, that's
Yes.
good. Yeah.
We've had wait lists for the last couple of months for these trips to the bigger cities for grocery shopping, whatever. We have decided to eliminate Black River Falls. We've canceled the last several trips due to lack of interest or participation or people wanting to go. So we just decided to cut Black River out and increase to La Crosse and Eau Claire, the two sought after. So those, like I said, those we have started implementing right now, but if we have people on the schedule that have called ahead of time for transportation, you know, in December, we're gonna honor that. And then just going forward in January, those people would have to, you know, kind of limit it to that specific day in their communities.
Yeah, I feel like it will help consumers because that way, for example, if you want to get, you know, go to the barber, you know, then if you're living in Whitehall, Tuesday, you can make that appointment for that day, versus just make it on Friday and see if we're available. It was not working well. After COVID, you know, we were not doing as many rides, and so it just, you know, we were able to accommodate most of the demand. We can't anymore. The demand has increased so much. So we're hoping this will allow us to better meet the needs of the consumers, and just seems like it makes sense. I think prior to COVID, things were being operated much like what we're doing, what we're moving to now. And so I'm hopeful that this will work out well for our drivers and for those that have needs.
May you still go to RCU and the Quick Trip on Tuesdays? For me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
So Whitehall will be Tuesday.
I'm glad.
The other thing that this will allow us to do as well will be, like, if you notice, for example, Wednesday is Arcadia, we can then promote that we will have a driver that would be available to take people to Wanik Center Dining on that Wednesday. We can't do it on Friday, but we would be able to do it on Wednesdays, so.
Same with Strong.
Yep, same with Strum. So, same with Blair. So I just think we'll see how it works. I'm hopeful. I think it's gonna be a good change. Allow us to be more efficient and meet more needs.
I really look forward to going to RCU and a Quick Trip on Tuesdays. Even if I do have a different drivers.
Sounds like a good plan. I think it makes a lot of sense, and since our budget's going to be cut in 2 years, got to start thinking more about things like this.
Efficiency,
Yeah,
yeah.
efficient.
I think it's a win-win, not only get more efficient and reach out to more people, but it's cheaper. It's a win-win all the way around. Gotta start that, good or bad, we gotta start it now.
Yep. Okay. Want to give you an announcement. I'm not tuning my own horn, but as of this past weekend, I have become a synodically authorized minister, and I will be through service, word, and sacrament, ministering service, word, and sacrament at Our Savior's Lutheran Church and Grace Lutheran Church in Pleasantville. We have a parish together. So a lot more time spent at the church and in the community with people, and the one thing that scares me yet is teaching confirmation. Yeah, I think so, but just trying to figure it out. And first meeting tomorrow night, and you know what to get for the snacks, so the kids aren't running up the walls. And yeah, it's.
Anybody that goes into, that's any type of elder or deacon or pastor, that's a good job. So we thank them. It's not always an easy job, but you guys,
Yeah, it's a good couple congregations, and if any of you pray, please pray for me.
Pray for our fellow pastors, we do, yep.
Yep.
Anybody that's in any of the ministry at Type, we pray for you guys, because it could be fun, but it's not always good, so.
I'm a congregation of White House, and I say that I'm real glad that God took over and be a pastor of our church. Because it's hard to get a pastor, so.
At any church, yeah.
In any church.
Denomination, they're all struggling. Yep.
Yeah, it's called a SAM, a synodically authorized minister, and there are at least, I think, 40 of us now in the Northwest Synod of Wisconsin.
Which would be equivalent to like an assistant in some other denominations, but any type of ministry work, it's a good job, so. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
New career at 71.
Become an assistant pastor at 71. That's unusual.
A lot of free time.
Yeah, right?
Yep, yep.
Good for you.
Yeah, keep me out of trouble.
Pizza's always good.
The what?
For the kids.
Pizza?
Because I used to be a youth minister, a youth helper, and like I said, I was a Sunday school teacher, or I did volunteer in organizations similar to Confirmation. Pizza is good, so. Coming from a similar Confirmation background, give those kids pizza, yep.
Yeah, I guess there is a stove up there in
Well,
the,
we have one of those, what, they rotate, what's that called? The pizzazz, yeah.
guys are
If you wanna borrow
fancy.
it, Scott, you can borrow it.
you just might.
From the
Then you
ADRC.
can have a
remember.
couple at the same time going.
Just walk across the street, you don't have very far to go. See?
Yes,
Quick trip pizzas.
yeah, you can,
There you go.
yeah, have it make
Have it ready.
Can't talk about food anymore.
Right.
Any other business before we adjourn?
Nope.
Well, thank you all for coming, and thank you folks on TV for spending the time with us. We appreciate it. And if you guys have questions out there on, for the ADRC, please give them a call. 715-538-2001, right?
Yeah, look at it.
Okay,
Thank you.
yep. Thanks very much. I think we're at the end of our agenda, so we're just automatically adjourned.
Yep.